Okay, so let's get started. And yeah, like I said, I don't want you to code yet, because let's kind of do this. This is kind of how you would do this, as a group. Like, because now let's kind of assume we're going to be doing some like group work. So what you would do is you'd have one person in your group create the GitHub repository. So you're going to have one GitHub repository, and you'd have one person create the project first. So let's say that's me. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do a CD into here. And then you could all be in like a Zoom breakout room. You could all be doing this together. Maybe the person who's coding is really just worrying about typing, and the other people are kind of telling the person what to code and what to do and making sure there's no mistakes being made. There's actually companies who do this. It's called pair programming. It's like the person typing just essentially types, and then like there's a person behind them called like the driver who's kind of telling them what to do. So the person typing is actually just kind of typing in. So you kind of have two eyes on the problem. Okay, so yeah, what do I want to do? I'm kind of driving, or you're driving, I'm kind of typing. This is where, you're going to come in and
you want us to direct you?
You want us to tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, so
you would
here.
Check to make sure the file that you're in LS doesn't have anything else in there that's the same name as what you want to name this project.
All right. Yeah, probably not.
And then from there, you would want to mkdir and create a name of the project. Or
I don't need to do that because
already makes it.
Yeah, you'd have to do it with the Ruby then. So
yeah, so what?
hold on, let me see.
Rails new.
Create Rails something.
Yeah, I just want
Rails
to
new
React
title.
right?
There we go. Rails new. I want to create a new app. Sweet. So Rails new. Bugs yo. That's our awesome name of the app. Go ahead and create it. And as I'm doing this, let's also, so you can have this, let's kind of maybe document some of this stuff. So you can kind of see this, because this is new. This is kind of like the first steps, and this is what you'll probably do in the hackathon. And this is what will allow you to do on Friday. So this is like as a group. So as a group, so, one person doing this. So we did like a, create a Rails project. I'm not going to be super specific on this. I'm just going to give you like the general outline. Create Rails project. Cool. Now that that's created, I mean, like I said, they're not necessarily a correct order, but what things could we do next? Let's maybe just kind of brainstorm some ideas before we actually do them.
You could either honestly start building your database, or you could create your React stuff in your. Would you want to do your React stuff first, actually, just so when you push it up, it's there?
I'd actually recommend doing your GitHub first.
So there's the React. Okay, there's some ideas. I thought I heard React. I did hear like the back end. So it's kind of, because these are kind of some major parts. There's GitHub. And I'll also think of these as like as a group. Really, you technically could do this. I could do a create Rails project. You know what I would maybe do just right off the bat is create.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
So yarn add, and this one we're not going to clone down because this is kind of I want for this hackathon that you go through and like rebuild out like React router, that kind of stuff. So yarn, what is this command? Kind of. So create our React app.
And then I would think after this, you have everything. You have the skeleton of what you need, so then you could push it up to GitHub.
Weren't we supposed to do the -d for the database in Postgres and then the API?
You do that for Ruby.
Okay,
Oh crap, I didn't do that. Yes.
that's what I was thinking in the very beginning.
Yeah, I screwed that up. Okay, thank you for catching that. RM dash, I'm just gonna do this, RF. I'm not even gonna try to, yeah, good catch. Okay, so let's. Okay, so yeah, let's do that again. So Rails new. Bugs, yo. Oh my gosh, okay. Did it again. Okay, sorry. So yeah, I need to do my -d Postgres. Those are the like little things that can like cause you big problems. So that's why, you know, there's 10 of you watching. I'm glad one of you caught that. That's the whole point of like, you know, it might, as you're working as a group and someone else is coding, you really should, the whole point is you're watching what they're doing. So thank you for catching that.
If you had
Is there a
something-
way to like create that after the fact if you forgot that part?
What was that?
Is there a way to create that stuff after the fact if you forgot that part? Or would it just be easier? Probably just easier to delete and start over like you did.
Yeah, that's going to be a very, very bad thing if you, not bad, but yeah, you're probably, yeah. Why not?
What if you like had already started doing stuff? You just had to start over.
Yeah, you might have to start over. But
start
it's
with
partly
the-
why we give you Friday. It's like Friday, we're going to get you to a point, hopefully on Friday, where like you have to do the setup, but hopefully by Friday you have a good portion of it. Like you have that time to set it up. So you might have to start over a couple times, but hopefully by when you come into Saturday, you have it working, like where you can start working on it. Actually start like doing some, you know, code. So yeah, I want to do a yarn create React app client. And also I'm going to just open this up in code so we can go back to the README because I deleted that. As a group, or let's create Rails app. I'm going to say create React app. I'm going to say this one just to kind of avoid any troubles. Let's go add, you know, third-party lips. So that might be like Axios, React Router DOM, and, you know, Faker if you want to use it, etc. These are the three you're going to these are the two you're definitely going to want. Faker's kind of optional. You might find some other ones you could use. Okay, so, and yeah, I kind of want to be a little vague on these steps. So you are actually like, I'm not writing your cheat sheet for you, but I'll kind of give you these.
Now, we can't add the third party after the app is already created, right? And like if we are already making changes to it.
No, you can't.
Um,
I'm just saying, this is a safe thing. This will just prevent issues. So, and I'll also leave a note, Rails stuff in gem file, React stuff in client. I don't know what you need to like say to remind yourself of what this is. But really the gem file, the one gem that we would maybe use, and this one isn't even necessary, is Faker. Okay, so kind of have forgot about talking about binding.pry, but maybe throw on this one. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Maybe throw that in there. So with my gem file, I threw in Faker. And then I run bundle. So actually, I'm going to just make notes on this. Anytime you add to your gem file, you need run bundle. So if you add something to your gem file, you need to run that bundle command. So this would be, rels.
so we're gonna have to do a Axios for React and then a gem file for Rails.
Yeah, I mean, that's already, you already have a gem file. I might just like throw what you put inside of there. I'll actually just throw this in the README. Maybe I'll just give this code to you so you can copy and paste this. Or actually, I'm just gonna do it from here. I'm just going to copy these. Okay. And I'll throw this in the README so you have them. So you can just copy and paste this. Where was my fake one? Okay. Okay, so with this, let me just make sure this. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to create a Rails app, create React app, add third-party libs. So you can just copy and paste this in the group development in your gem file. So I'm going to take this. Oh wait, I want to throw one more in here. Gem. Try. So what I do is I just take this in your gem file. You can go ahead and like just in that development, you can go ahead and throw those in there.
What is that for?
These are just helpers. Like, so Faker allows us to get the fake data. These are actually going to make, we'll see if we ever use these. It's just nice to have pride because we can pause our code. This is just going to make your errors look a little cleaner.
All right.
So I add some gems, and then, yeah, anytime we do that, we need to run bundle. Cool. Now, like I said, only one person is going to be doing this. So React, this needs to be in your client folder. We're going to do yarn add Axios, and yarn add React router. I forget if it's like at version 6. I need to be specific about that. Just copy that one. So those are, I think this is just going to help make sure you have the stuff you need. So you can have these, you'll just have Faker, you'll have these ways to do better errors. It's not really necessary, but then you'll have Axios and React router. Cool. Okay, so now at this point, I think this might be a time to commit. Like do the GitHub stuff. Let's go like add to GitHub. So first of all, I need to I didn't actually do that. I need to cd into client. I need to do a yarn add Axios. And I need to do a yarn add React router. DOM at 6. DOM. So now let's go do a GitHub. New repository. I forget what I call this. Bugs yo spring 22. Add the remote. add dot git commit dash m. All right. Any questions on what we've done so far? I would say here, this technically could be a point where people could clone down and you could actually have people go work on your back end and people go work on the front end. But
Wait, how?
what?
How would we do that if our team cloned it?
Yeah. I'm going to skip that though for now. I'm going to say, well, at the GitHub, I'm going to say you could start to split up tasks here. I'm not going to. There's also going to be another step here at GitHub. Eventually, and I'm going to do this as another team, eventually, or as another step, add team members. GitHub. But I'm going to do this in its own section of GitHub stuff. I'm going to throw that down here. Some GitHub stuff. Because at this point, like we have the Rails app, we have the React app. You could clone down. People could go work on the back end. People could go work on the front end. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. I'm just going to pretend I think it's better, especially since we're kind of learning. Let's do this stuff together. And I think it's going to be good that your group, especially I would say with the back end, you maybe just set up at least your models together, maybe even your routes or something. So let's kind of ignore splitting up the work right now and the GitHub stuff. We've essentially done and I could label these as one. That was step 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 steps. What
Yeah,
can we?
Me, I would start making my models here.
Yeah, I would kind of say now we can we can think about back end / front end stuff. So let's do back end. So like I said, you could break this up, but if we're thinking now, we can kind of just start thinking about the back end. So 1, create models. I like that. I think that's a good one. We have our database design. So let's create our models. So it's going to be a Rails model bug name type. Rails G model. I forgot what I called it. Treatment. What did that have? That had a name, right? It had a success rate.
Yeah, name and success rate.
Success with 2 S's.
SUCCESS.
I really want to like spell these right because, or like, that's right.
Yep.
Okay. Success rate, and this also has a bug. Belongs to. What do I need to do now?
You
Hold on.
create or migrate.
Let's do a migrate.
On your success rate, do you want that to be a string?
Thank you. I do not. So I could delete my model because I want to change that. I could do a migration. I could actually here's how I can fix that. Yeah, I want that to be I forgot the string. I haven't done my migration yet. So actually what I can do is I can just go into my migration folder, find that and change that to a float. Cool. And now I can do a Rails DB migrate.
So that's all you have to do to fix that if you had an error in something, like if you made it a string instead of an integer or a float per se.
What if I had run my migration, then I'd have to drop my database and redo it. So since I hadn't run my migration, I could just go in and do it. And also since I really haven't done anything like, well, yeah, I guess if I had and I wanted to change it, then is it really that hard to do a DB drop, DB create, DB migrate? So as you're starting off, it's very easy. You can just go in, delete stuff, like drop your database. But I'm getting this error. What did I forget to do? Or what do you think this error is?
You got to create your database.
Yeah, I actually need to create my database first.
So that Rails D command you were doing earlier, would that be a way to destroy a model if you needed to?
Yeah, I could have done Rails D model treatment and that would have deleted it.
Gotcha. That's good to know.
Cool. So now I've created my database and migrated it. Cool. So create models. Migrate. I'm going to say this in this step as well. Set up associations. Let me spell that word. That off. Okay, there we go. That's close enough. And what does this part mean? So we have a has many relationship. Remember, there's one thing there's a couple other things I need to do to set this up. I look at my schema. That looks right? I have a big bug ID as a, null can't be false. It's got this like index thing on it. It's got this foreign key. So I can say like, oh, wow, this is set up as a foreign key. Cool. So that's good. I don't need to do anything. I shouldn't. But can anyone remember what's the other thing I need to do to set up this association? This does it in like my
Has many,
This
right?
does it in the database, but I need to do it in Rails. Sorry, what did you say?
You need to set up the
In your RB folder, or in your RB file.
Yeah, it's not the controller. It's in
The models.
the
has
model.
many
Yeah.
treatments or belongs to.
Yeah. So the treatment, this was already done for me because I
Right.
did bug belongs to. So that's already done. But here I need to do
Now
the
you do the has many.
Has many. Yeah.
as many bugs. And I think it makes sense if I destroy a bug, I destroy all of the, oh, sorry, this is not has many bugs. This is has many treatments.
Right. If you destroy a bug, you destroy all the treatments.
Yeah. So I'm just going to throw that in there. Cool. Migrate. So we've done that. What do you think would be a good step to do right here?
That's where you create your database.
We've created a, we've done that. I could say this right here, like,
Well, okay.
You want to make your controller next, right?
what would be a better thing to do?
Commit.
I mean, yeah, commit. I would just say maybe I'm still thinking of something else. I mean, committing's good. I mean, creating your controllers, that's a good next step. I'm gonna say that's step 4. Controllers. What might I want to do right here? Test.
Is this where you'd want to go into the console and like add some files or something? Or-
Yeah, I want to test. So I could either do this, in console or in like my seeds.rb. Did I create my models correctly? Did I set up the associations correctly? Like, this is big. We want a lot of these testing steps. What also should I have probably done up here? I haven't even tested this at all. Here's a general rule. Anytime you're going to push to GitHub, test before. So if you have a step that's like push to GitHub, let's test. So that was kind of a because I'm writing a lot of code. Do I even know if this is working? I could at least go in and Rails S 2001. Start. Okay, there's my React app. That's all I'm looking for. Cool. My React app's working. My Rails app's working. Actually, had I tested, this step's going to need to go here. I would actually need to like create my database and test. Because if I tested here, I would have like seen that this failed. Cool. So now, yeah, we're on here. We've created our models. We set up associations. We migrated. Now we want to test. So yeah, let's go step into our console. And what I'm testing here, I just want to make sure I set up like my associations correctly. So I can do like a Rails C. I can do like a bug.create. And now I'm seeing an error. Oh, this is awesome. This was not planned. What's going on here?
Is
Does
it
it not
because you
have the
haven't done the
controllers?
controllers yet?
No, I should be able to create a model without a controller.
Does it not like the word virus?
Yeah, I can't find the subclass virus.
Maybe assigned as something?
Well, I mean, okay, that's weird. It wouldn't like the word virus.
Okay.
Is it because of type?
Column type is reserved for storing the class.
Yeah. This actually happens. It doesn't like the word type.
Yeah, I think I ran into that problem a little bit ago, so I had to look up the reserved words.
Type is a reserved word. Man, this is just beautiful. That was so accidental, but this test, you see how I'm like testing is so important. There are little like this exact same thing, and I actually think it was type. We've had a group that had this error. They had so much code written, and like they had this error because they were using types in one of their models, and it was like 2 o'clock, and it's like, yeah, they were trying to like put the pieces together. It's like, well, and then they had that error. They literally got nothing done. Like, I mean, they had a lot of code, and actually when you looked at their code, like kind of looking at the files, it was correct. It was like their code was correct, but they had this one little thing. And then they were so confused because they had written so much code, they didn't know what the hell was causing it. Like it gets confusing. So the fact that we're testing early, we caught this. And now it's an easy fix. Let's just change that name of the column. So what I could do is I could go into here.
We could call it like classification. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, classification, bug type, something that's not type. Yeah, classification would have worked. Kind. Let's just do that. It doesn't really matter.
What was the issue if you had it as type? It won't allow you to do that.
Yeah, because type's a reserved word for storing the class. And yeah, so it's just like it's a reserved word, so I can't use it. So we'll just rename it to something we can use. And now I can just, what do I need to do? If I do a Rails, I kind of want to show you this. If I do a, because I changed my migration file. If I do a Rails DB migrate, it didn't really do anything.
You have to drop
The
the
drop your
database, right?
I have to drop my database, recreate it. And at this point, and you know, for your hackathon, this probably isn't going to matter. So you can always just, when in doubt, just drop your database, recreate it, and remigrate it. No, except I have a server. I have my server running. So it's being accessed. So I need to stop my server. I can't drop it if I have a server running. And now I go back to my schema, and now it's bug type. And what I should do, you know, I should now go back into like this design and this, you know, bug type. Now I can try this again. Bug create name COVID bug type is virus. Now it works. Since I decided to test that, you know, took me 5 minutes. You know, maybe that takes like 5-10 minutes to find, because we haven't really done much. You know, it's a lot easier to find, even though that error might have been new. And that would have definitely been an error if you would have gone to like me or a TA and you would have asked what it was. We would have told you. So when you are asking for help, if you know you just run into a bug, like an error that you do not know, like we will, like for something like that, we would told you. Okay, so now I come in, I create a couple bugs. So that's working. So I can now do like bug.first. So I should be able to do bug.first.treatments. .create. That has a name. So my bug dot first, that's COVID, right? So that's like Pfizer. And then we have like a success rate. I don't know what that is, whatever, doesn't really matter, 70. And then, you know, I could have like J&J.
And that bug ID 1 is referring back to COVID. The first
Yeah,
ID
the
created.
bug ID, that should be probably, yeah, that's COVID. Cool. So that's working. So then I can do,
Is it when you make a model like that and you just spelled Pfizer wrong? Is there a way to go back and fix it, or you have to fix it before you do? You just have to fix it before you do migrate.
no, that's storing to my database. So if I wanted to fix that, I'd have to do an update. I'd have to find that tree because now this value is stored to my database.
Hmm.
If I do like a bug or what was it, a treatment dot all, it's right there. So it's stored wrong in my database. Cool. But what I can do is like, I'm testing this out. I'm seeing it's working. I think it can be nice to come in and go to my seeds file. And, you know, just hard code some of these in there. Because now that I kind of have it working, I can store these to variables. You know, I can do like b1 dot treatments dot create. It's nice to do it in the terminal because I can kind of like see stuff. I can play around with stuff, but the seeds file is nice because then I can reuse it. That right there, Pfizer. Success rate. 70. So I can create a couple of these. J&J.
Would you want to do a destroy all before you called that? Before you had
I'm sure I
all
could do like a bug dot destroy all.
Do you have to do treatment destroy all also?
I
No, 'cause
believe not, because he did it in the controller or whatever. He put that it's tied to it. So if it destroys the bug, it will also destroy the treatment.
Yeah, in my bug class, I did a dependent destroy. So yeah, exactly what Randy said. When I destroy a bug, it destroys the treatments. So now I can do a Rails DB seed. It might be not, I don't have to do this, but it can be nice to like, it's, you know, bug dot all dot size, just so I can like see this. Some messages. And then treatments. Treatment sets. Cool. So I have 2 bugs and 4 treatments. And, you know, by testing it, like through here, I was kind of able, like, I can also like, can I do like my treatment dot first treatment dot first? I can grab like my treatment dot first. I can grab the bug. I can do treatment dot first dot bug dot treatments. I kind of can just like test these associations. Like that's working. So I've just done some testing. I've created a seeds file. You know, might have taken some time, but this is going to be nice. And this is going to be nice for when the other members in the team finally like clone this down and get started. Cool. So let's go back to the README. So that's tested. I think anytime you do a test and it's successful, that's a good time to commit. Bug model, you know, we have like our models set up. Cool. So now we could do our controllers. Create controllers and routes. All right, so let's create our controllers and routes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In your seed file, when you do bug.all.size, why would you not do thing.count? When my brother-in-law was looking over my code, he just said that like bug.all is more efficient. Bug.count is more efficient. So I don't really know the difference. I don't understand.
Over size and count.
When you let me see, when you did bug.all.size, he said bug.count would be more efficient, or why are you using bug.all.size instead of bug.count?
I don't care. If
Oh,
it's-
okay. I just didn't really understand what the difference was, and I was just wondering why.
It's there's probably a different way to like access, like count is maybe it's a little quicker. Maybe, you know, size takes 0.0001 seconds to figure it out, or dot count takes 0.005.
Okay.
So yeah, if that's more efficient, then sure, let's use it. But yeah, that's something, I mean, especially the difference between size and count. Yeah. Don't really care. I use size because that's what it is in JavaScript. So I don't like to like confuse people with all the different lingo that Ruby has. And that I'd actually kind of be surprised if size is more, if there's a difference in efficiency, because they're probably just aliases. So I don't know. I don't really care. To be honest. So, but yeah, the answer is like, because there's size, count, and length. Those all just give me the length of an array. So now let's go into our this step of create controllers and routes. So Rails G controller API / the hell is the name? I get so confused. Okay, bugs. And then treatments. Cool, let's do our routes. Namespace API do end resources bugs do resources treatments.
Are we like okay to start using that if we could just do it the other way?
Yeah.
Like without, okay.
This point, you know, you can hard code them if that's better for you. I'm just going to do them that way. But I should do this next step of, I mean, right here, especially if I'm doing that shortcut, I should do a little bit of a test. I'm going to say, you know, the Rails info routes here. This is one way I can make sure if you did it that way, or if you're setting up your routes, this is one way you can test, is I can go to this, you know, Rails info routes. So how I do that, you need to have your server running. Rails s-p 3000 m1. And then localhost rel info routes. Now this is where like you need, like, are you comfortable understanding what this is saying? Like the resource routing, I kind of, first of all, I know what I'm expecting. I know how to test this. I know, well, I mean, do these look right to you? Does that look like that was successful?
Yeah, that all looks.
I don't know what it
good.
means. What does it mean by format?
Yeah, there's like some additional information you can send, but yeah, we can ignore that for now.
Other than that, it looks okay.
Cool. And yeah, you can ignore these. These are Rails things, but it's just, yeah, if all of this makes sense to you and you know what it means, and like I said, you can ignore the format, then I think it's fine, because I can at least test that worked. They're all appended with API. Those look good. Cool.
Wait, why does the bugs, why does it say bugs do, but not treatments do? In your routes? Why did you do it like that?
This is a way, okay, so this is, I'm doing nested routing.
Oh, so it's
So-
like referencing the next, what's coming next.
Let me kind of show you
API.
because
That
I
actually
could do
makes
this
sense.
one way. I could do it like this. I'm not going to nest them. I could do resources bugs and resources treatments. And this is valid. If I look at my routes,
They're not gonna be connected though.
yeah. So it's like
Got it.
treatments going to have their own and bugs are going to have their own. By doing
So
it,
it's like, yeah, it's like how you have the API do, it kind of adds bugs to that. When
Yeah.
you do bugs, it adds treatments to that. Okay, that makes sense.
and notice the name, like, so this :bug ID, when I do like a get request to my treatments, I'm going to do like params :bug ID. So like in here, Rails is coming up with that name. So I need to, like, when I need to find my bug in any of these treatment controller methods, I'm going to do it via params bug ID, because that's what Rails named it for me. Cool. All right. Moving along. I don't know. I'm going to say 6. You know, this is where you actually, you know, start filling out controllers. And 7. Test Postman. I'm going to put like a note. Now, this is where you can maybe Right? Why am I saying you could maybe split up work here? Or why might this be a potential place you could start maybe splitting up work? Or like a good
Because-
candidate.
Yeah, after this, all you have to do is the controllers, then pretty much done.
Yeah. And another reason, because you have two controllers. So someone could do the bugs controller,
Yeah,
someone could do the treatments controller. Like these are kind of like they're separate files, right? Like they're not really related.
right.
If that makes they don't depend on each other. So what I'm trying to show, or like, I think what's set up, which is going to help you for now, like, you know, both of these controllers, like it's nice to have your routes set up beforehand. Because this might be something both of you want. If let's say there's two people working on this, like both of you are going to want to have your routes set up, right? So this is all done in this one file. So anytime you're maybe working on the same file, you do it together. But when you get to a point where it's like, hey, someone can do the bugs controller, someone can do the treatments controller. And then you can start working on those individually. You don't have to, but I'm going to say this could maybe split up work here. Someone. And then, so we'll kind of skip this step for now, but so you start filling out controllers, you test in Postman. What do you think you want to do after maybe you're done with Postman?
Push to GitHub.
Yeah, push to GitHub. You also might, if you split up work here, you'll also definitely want to push to GitHub first. And I'm going to say this, push pull. Let's do it this way, push to GitHub. Have everyone poll. So we're going to start doing what's called our polling from master. So when someone pushes up to master and your other team wants to get the changes, you're going to do a poll from GitHub.
Will that screw up anything you've done, or will it just pull down anything that you don't have currently?
So this is where if you're working on the same files, it could potentially screw up stuff.
Right.
And there's ways around it. It's not like, it's not to say you can never be working on the same file at the same time. But
You just have to be careful.
you have to be careful, and you're going to get into like conflicts, and then you have to resolve those conflicts. So, yeah. Cool. And that's kind of like the back end stuff. So we haven't done any of the controllers. Let's go to the front end part. Actually, yeah, let's take a break though. And when we get back, we'll do some front end stuff. So let's come back. Let's call it 12:20.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I forgot to leave. I'm gonna leave. I'll be right back.